Hello everyone, my name is Jillian Pontario, and today I will be discussing Black theology. The basis of Black theology lies in history. In the United States, colonists used religion as justification for their discriminatory practices towards African Americans. Even after slavery was abolished by the 13th Amendment in 1865, race relations between blacks and whites remained a major issue. Discrimination based on race occurred in the form of Jim Crow laws, which were based on the principle of separate but equal. Were seen through the occurrences of lynchings and by the drastic case of the Ku Klux Klan. Black churches came to form their own interpretations of Christianity that did not favor white supremacy. In the picture here, Malcolm X says, "Nobody can give you freedom, nobody can give you equality, or justice, or anything. If you're a man, you take it." United States civil rights leaders, such as Malcolm X, had a profound effect on Black liberation theology. People connected the words of the leaders, such as Malcolm X, to theology, and used their faith to fight racial injustices and white supremacy. The National Committee of Negro Churchmen formulated one of the first official statements in the New York Times on the connection between Christianity and racial injustices in 1966. Later, the NCNC became the National Committee of Black Churchmen. They began to form a religious reaction to the racial injustices of African Americans, called for Black consciousness, and recognized the Blacks' connection to Christianity. This led to a theological response, appropriately coined Black theology. Black theology is a liberationist movement focused on race and racism. The main purpose of Black theology is to liberate African Americans from white oppression. Black theology interprets Christianity in a way that encompasses all people, both blacks and whites. In this view, God is not depicted as white. It is important to note the diversity inherent in this approach. Black theology does not exclude and does not mean liberation for blacks only. James Cone, pictured on the right, is often referred to as the father of Black theology, though the roots of Black theology lie in history, as he knows. In 1969, Cone published Black Theology and Black Power, which was the first major work on Black theology. In 1970, he wrote another book about Black theology titled A Black Theology of Liberation, which was published in English. The first book is pictured on your right. Cone is quoted to have said, "The blackness of God means that God has made the oppressed condition God's own condition." Not only was Cone the first major Black liberationist theologian, he was also the first to tie Scripture to God's roots as a colored being. Cone believed that there could not be a colorless God in a society of people that experienced so much suffering, and African Americans were one of the groups that suffered the most. Other important African American scholars and thinkers were historian of religion Charles Long, a theologian and brother of James Cone named Cecile Cone, a historian named Vincent Harding, a philosopher named William R. Jones, and Eric Lincoln, a sociologist. All had great influence on the creation of Black theology and aided in fusing academic studies, history, and religion in relation to African American theology and oppression. The picture on the screen represents the very roots of Black theology. To begin with, God is pictured as black instead of white. In addition, the man at the forefront of the picture is black. As the hands of God's worshippers reach upward, their hands appear both black and white. It is hard to distinguish the color of the hands, especially as they reach God. This is representative of Black theology as a whole because Black theology seeks to liberate all people, not only African Americans. In this picture, the people are all united under a single Black God. The ideas of unity and diversity are not only apparent in this picture, but in Black theology as a whole. A picture of the Bible is very relevant to Black theology because most people who study Black theology, such as Cone and his followers, are Christians. Many of these people are greatly influenced by Christian teachings and practices. The Bible is one of the most sacred texts for Black theologians. It serves as a guideline in understanding God's involvement with the human race and explains ethics and morals Christians should live by. However, most Black theologians do not take the Bible to be perfect and believe that it was not written by God himself. Black theology is not simply a religion for oppressed African Americans. It is a social movement for equality, justice, and freedom. Black liberation theologists have taken the problems of the oppressed and found solutions within Christianity and other religions. Black theology remains important today in terms of the social issues it targeted back in 1960 that still plague America today. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you found it interesting. This is my work cited, and the direct URLs for images I used in this presentation are below. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.